Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Tonight, we will be continuing Animorphs number 6, The Capture by K. Applegate. But first, I want to give thanks to my Patreon donators. So far, there's only one, but I'm always hopeful there's going to be, a few more, maybe way, way further down the line. But anyways, thank you, James Bevan. Thank you, Jim, for donating for so long. So thank you very much. And let's actually start the chapter after I have a little sip of milk. It was a perfect copy of me, like looking in a mirror. I morphed a while back, Axe said. I've been watching the way you walk and move. To copy you better. Better. The Yerk grinned. You may look like me, but that isn't going to be enough. I give it an hour before Tom figures it out. Marco looked at Rachel and cocked an eyebrow. Rachel looked at Cassie, who sighed and nodded her head. See, that was a stupid way to play it, Yerk, Marco said. If you really were Jake, you might be frustrated that we wrongly suspected you. But you'd figure the smart thing would be to help Axe play the role. If you were you, so to speak, you'd have to hope Axe pulled it off. Rachel curled her lip contemptuously. You just blew Final Jeopardy. You're still trying to make us let you go. By now, Jake would have realized he had to help us succeed. The Yerk said nothing. I think he knew he'd made an error, but I still sensed an absolute confidence from him, like a poker player holding an extra ace. We reached the shack. It was a depressing, half-fallen down mess with a wood floor and log walls and a roof that only covered half the place. There was a bird's nest of some type in the rafters. Bushes had grown in through a hole in one wall. There were beer cans and soda cans strewn around. They all looked pretty old. Nothing recent. Tobias had chosen well. We would probably be left alone for the 3 days. Tobias, with his laser vision, had found a few feet of rope in an old campground. He flew back with it in his talons, and Marco and Rachel tied my hands behind my back. Sorry, Drake, Marco said, but that's the way it is. If you're still in there, you understand. We'll loosen the rope every couple of hours so the circulation isn't cut off, Rachel said. I'll be here for the first shift. Cassie and Marco are going back with Axe to get him prepared to play you. She smiled. He already has a serious, responsible sounding thing down. They just need to give him a sense of humor and stop him from playing with every sound he says. It sounded fairly good to me, but I was nervous that only 2 of them would be around to guard me. Of course, one of those 2 was Tobias. I could never run fast enough to hide from him, and Rachel could morph into a wolf and run me down. But it bothered me that the Yerk in my head had not lost his cockiness. In fact, he was reveling in a fantasy of promotions and power. Within a few hours, I will be back with my kind. I will personally tell Visharthi all I know. It will be the end of your little band. The end. Visher 3 will promote me again. It will be the fastest series of promotions ever. I'm already in the 100s. I could rise to the 90s. I will be an under-Visher. In a few of your years, who knows? I could be a Visher! But it was more than just talk. I could see the pictures too. The images his mind conjured up. They were sketchy, but I saw Visharthi nodding his head as my Yerk, still in my body, showed him my friends. They were all bound and gagged and lying helpless on the floor of Visher 3's blade ship. Why was I seeing this? The Yerk was able to shield his other thoughts. Was this fantasy too emotional for him to hide from me? Or was he actually showing off for my benefit? Do you have these fantasies a lot? I said as cruelly as I could. You want to laugh at my fantasies? Shall I delve into a few of yours? Let's see what's hidden deep in your brain, human. And then, to my horror, I was no longer in the cabin. It was a bright, huge gymnasium. Not exactly a gym, a sports arena. Yes, with thousands and thousands of fans. I felt like crawling away. I knew this fantasy. It was kind of lame, I guess. I could not escape. The Yerk could play my fantasies as easily as sticking a cassette into a VCR. In my fantasy, people were cheering. There I was, in a pro uniform. I was older, but I still looked pretty much like myself. The game clock was at 5 seconds. 4, 3. I set up and took an incredible 3-point shot from midcourt. Swish. The stadium went crazy, cheering, horns sounding, people chanting my name. And there was Cassie in the stands, smiling at me. She was sitting with my parents. There was Tom. He walked out onto the court and threw his arms around me. He patted me on the back. "Great game," he said. "As usual." And a fantasy. The images disappeared. I felt very small suddenly, very unimportant, very weak. "Ah, yes," Björk said and laughed. "It shocks you that I can play your thoughts back for you. Your brain is no different to me than one of your primitive human computers. I open any file I like. I play any software. I use you. I own you. I dominate you. You are nothing anymore. Just an echo. Just a ghost haunting the machine of your own brain." "Yeah?" I managed to say. "Well, you're a screw-up who is tied up in a cabin in the woods. In 3 days, you're dead. I won't be here 3 days. He said, "You'll be here, far from your stinking yerk pool, no Kendrona rays, and you'll shrivel and die and crawl out of me." I've been calm, but then I lost control. "You'll die! You'll die like the others died. You think you'll win? You'll lose! You'll lose! You can't control me! You can't control me! You can't control me!" "Oh?" the Yerk asked with silky menace. "That's just what your brother said at first. Shall I show you? Shall I play one of Tom's memories for you? I can feel you cringe. I can feel your fear. Yes. Yes, I will. Here, enjoy a preview of your future." It was as if a third mind had joined us. It was real. So completely real. Not like a vision or a movie or something. I felt this. I felt it exactly as if I were there. My brother's mind, his thoughts, his memories, as clear as if I were seeing them myself. Tom, some piece of Tom that the Yerk still carried with him. It was from just a few days earlier. He was sitting at the breakfast table, across from me. I saw myself through his eyes. I looked distant, distracted, preoccupied. "Hey, midget, what's up?" he asked me. "Not much. How about you?" "Oh, I'm going to a meeting." "The sharing?" I asked him. "Yeah, we're doing some cleanup in the park. Do our part for the community and all. Then we're having a barbecue afterward. You really should join. We get to spend more time together." It was just as I remembered it, except that now I felt Tom's emotions, not mine. The real Tom, the true Tom who was crushed beneath the Yerk's control. He was crying, sobbing, helplessly, silently. Not Jake. He cried, "Leave Jake alone. Leave my brother alone. I'll look. I'll never trouble you again. I swear it. Just leave Jake alone." Dirk waited while the full impact of direct contact with Tom's mind sank into my own. Tom was defeated, desperate. He spent his time wishing he could die. He had given up any hope of escape. Given up. "That's how it always is," Yerk said. "At first those fights, or at least tries, hour after hour and day after day, they see that they cannot rule their own bodies. The host sees that no one even knows what has happened to him. No one knows he is lost in his own head. And over time, hope dies. The host becomes a faint, shattered creature, like your brother." Dirk was telling the truth. That was what made it so terrible. It was true. I could feel Tom's complete, utter despair. I could feel that he had accepted defeat. I knew that all he wished for now was an end. And I knew also that I was no stronger than Tom. But still, one hope lingered in me. 3 days, I told the Yerk. In 3 days, you will die. Wait and see, human. Just wait and see. And that's the end of that lovely, happy chapter. Woot! Now, I'm going to say that I won't spoil what happens in a later chapter, so don't worry about that, but why Temrash is so fucking confident is extremely obvious. And Jake's a fucking moron for not realizing it. It's like, Jake's the fucking leader of the Animorphs, and he's the fucking stupidest one. Gosh damn. Like, like it's obvious. It's obvious. And he's like, oh, doop 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 doop. Fuck. But on the bright side, besides Jake's utter fucking stupidity on the matter, and I'll actually get to Jake's stupidity and the rest of the book when we get to it. But anyways, on the good thing, we get more Temrash and how the host actually feels. Now, we've known in the past that Yerks can go through a host's memories. I mean, that's the whole reason they're able to be such a good double and fool people into believing that they are, the real people. But we weren't so familiar before about how the Yerk and the host operate by memories. Such as even when Temrash isn't, just talking with Jake or giving him memories, if an emotion is strong enough, Jake can sense it. He can't sense exactly what it is, but he can sense around the general area. So, yes, the Yerks can read minds, but the host can also in turn sense a little bit from the Yerks. And we find out that it's not just that the Yerks can go through memories, they can actually pick and choose memories to show their host. And the memories don't have to actually be of something that's really happened. It could be like a fantasy. And Temrash uses that ability to torment the host, which he's probably found out over time is extremely useful in breaking a host. And we really weren't aware before that Yerks do retain all the memories that they had from previous hosts. So again, Temrash uses this to torment Jake by saying, oh yeah, my last host was your brother, so let me go through and find the best hits. And plays that memory for Jake. So it's very cool what's happening in this book. This is my favorite book in the whole fucking series, so I am probably extremely biased towards this one. It is just, oh my god. But anyways, what did you think of this chapter? What do you think of the whole human, not human, but the whole relationship between the host and the Yeerk? What are your opinions on this chapter in general? Now, oh shit. Luckily, I didn't forget this this time. But you notice how Temrash is like, oh yeah, let me just do something Jake wouldn't do at this moment. Even though I can go through his entire memory catalog and figure out what to do. And this could just be because Temrash is so confident of what he's going to do that he figures whatever he says and does in that moment doesn't really matter. Because he's going to be still tied up no matter what. They're still suspicious enough that they're going to tie him up. I mean, it's like not. So, Temrash is probably thinking, you know what? I'm just going to do what I want to do at this moment because it's not going to make a fucking difference. It's not going to change my whole situation. They're still going to be suspicious of me, and even if they aren't, I still can't trust these humans. So I feel like him making that one quote unquote little slip is no real biggie in the long run. So again, still comment below. And remember, no major spoilers in the YouTube's comment section. I want to keep it major spoiler free because I'm hoping people will discover Animorphs via my video. So here we go. And so, there's some really big twists and turns throughout the series that everyone should experience, not knowing what's going to happen the first time. So, so if you do want to talk spoilers to me, please, if you are on the YouTubes, there's a link to my Tumblr Ask box, and just talk spoilers to me because I've read the entire series, so you won't be spoiling anything for me. And I might learn to appreciate this series in a whole new way. So, if you are one of those people that have discovered Animorphs via this video, if you feel like, hey, I would like my very own copy of Animorphs number 6, The Capture by K.A. Applegate. If you're watching on the YouTubes, link in the description. If you're watching on my blog, link down below. And both links will take you to where you can buy your very own copy of Animorphs number 6, The Capture by K.A. Applegate. Woo! If you are watching this on the YouTubes, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you want to keep up with Animorphs, just subscribe. And if you are actually interested in Game of Thrones, I'm thinking of doing episode reviews for the final season because it's the final season. Just to warn you, if you're going to decide to subscribe for that, be aware, one, I really didn't like the last season. Two, I really didn't like what they did with John Danny. The ship has potential, but the show just sort of ruined it. Sort of like, shit. I'm hoping that when George R. R. Martin finishes the book series, that the difference between the book version of John Danny and the show version of John Danny will be as great as the difference between the book version of Dorne and the show version of Dorne. book readers will find that meaningful, and anyone who's been around a book reader that talks about Dorn will be aware of it. I'm actually waiting to read A Song of Ice and Fire once he finishes the books. I'm sorry, I'm not someone who can stand the cliffhanger. I experienced that when I thought Stephen King wasn't going to finish his Dark Tower series, so I can't do that again. I'm not strong enough. I did it once. And if you're watching this on my Bloggly blog and watching on the desktop version of my Bloggly blog, please choose the follow by email option, so you will never miss a lovely blog post from me again. And remember, I just don't do Jash reads or other videos. I also am beginning to again do written posts. I also do giveaways for Dragon Cave and Flight Rising. So I don't know why I'm like, yeah. Oh my god. So now the graphics section. Okay. I was like, okay, do this share screen. I'm like, oh wait, I haven't opened Firefox up again. I'm fucking moron, aren't I? Continue editing. Hide. Okay, the last time we were here, I was wondering, should I do live. I was wondering, should I just add the words, or should I mess around with this more? And I'm going to mess around with it a little bit more, just so you all have time to think about what words to choose. You know, what quotes, what you want me to do with the words, anything fancy. Gosh. Let's see what happens here. Ta-da! I think that really has a young, rebellious feel to it. There. I don't know. Okay, the gauche one, definitely thinking about it. No. Nope. Let's see. Well, that's sort of too blue, and I really wanted that red to sort of hang out, and I unfortunately can't choose the color scheme there. Let's see, watercolor. Let's see. I'm sorry, like filtering. Am I just wasting time? Maybe I'll actually find something good. Wow, that's actually interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that sort of gives it a childish feel. I think that's a little childish there. Yeah, okay. Okay, that was sort of easy. Nice childish feel to it, still keeping the strong colors, still subdued. I'm still going to save it as Bear Hawk 2, though. Just because, well, yeah. Still, it's like, I might want to go back to the original before I did that shit. So that's why I'm keeping that. And let's see, open project. So let's save as a project. Ta-da! Oh wait. God damn it, computer. Wait. No, that's open. That's why it's running into problems. I'm a fucking moron. PNG. Okay, folks, so please comment, send me messages on what you think the words here should be. I would love to hear your opinions so your voice can be heard. Remember that your voice can be heard. And this again is a Rachel Tobias ship picture, and they're from Animorphs. So just just remember that when you're choosing it. It's not like there's a random girl with a random hawk there for reasons. It's a shipping picture. So yeah. And if you would like to make a little toast or something, if you would just like any little excuse to drink, just don't chug something. Just drink a little. And drink, it can be alcoholic, like your favorite alcoholic or wherever the fuck's lying around. Or it could be, just I'm drinking milk. You could choose water or something non-alcoholic. And I'm going to drink a bunch of the milk. But if you are choosing something very strong to drink, don't drink a lot. Don't chug a half a bottle of absinthe down. I'm not promoting that shit. Don't go overboard. And I would say the next episode would be on Monday. But Monday is Christmas Eve. So I'm going to assume I'm not going to be doing any videos, because most likely I'll be going to Christmas Eve dinner, and I'll be exhausted from that, either because of just in-laws or because of drinking, or possibly both. Because of my acid reflux, I have to be careful while drinking, but sometimes there's some people that the only way you can get by is just getting a little buzzed. And so I am hoping to get another Jash Reads episode out on the 28th, but I can't remember exactly when Mom's coming over, but Mom may be over during that time, so no videos. So actually, and then Monday, then the 31st is New Year's Eve. So it might not be. This might actually be the final episode of 2018. So actually, if you still have whatever drink, get out champagne, get out the good shit, and, cheers. Because holy shit. At the beginning of this year, I think I was starting on Animorphs number 2, and I managed to do 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm currently on the 6th one, so I got 4 books done this year. Yeah, I'm gonna say, fuck yeah. So, next video will be on January 4th, 2019, and it will be more of Animorphs number 6, The Capture by K.A. Applegate. Hey! See you next year.